Howdy, folks. You're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast with a focus on fiends and the friends who play them. Wanted to give a quick shout out to KiloWhat, who does the artwork for our show. Amazing as always. Go check out her stuff. All the important links will be in the show description. And then I also wanted to point out that we have a Discord where all of us hang out, have a great time talking about all things nerdy, all things tabletop. There's something there for everyone. So come hang out with us. We can't wait to see you there. Let's get on with the show, shall we?
So I see you're still waiting for the bullywug to return.
Oh, well, yes. Yes, I am.
How's that going for you?
So far, so good. Just me and my jug, waiting for the bullywug. Guys!
Yeah?
What's up? I just got back from a tavern 2 towns down, and the bullywug was there, and he was telling his story about those tiefling. What he mentioned was, last time the party gathered together at this nestled rest, they started planning what to do next in Skypoint, and Tazlan looked through a crystal ball and scryed things, and then Yusuf went and got some more city-appropriate clothes, and then they figured they might go to the Mercurial Cabinet or something like that. And then the bullywug did a jig on the table, and then drank a lot and cried, and said he missed his jugs, and then said his final catchphrase, "These demon days." And yeah, that's pretty much it. You're suited up. And the proprietor resumes his work and gives you a nod. And yeah, you make your way out of the musty fella. And and Federer,
cabinet.
You mentioned that the notches that you saw about the cabinet, and there was kind of a clear sense of trajectory with that.
Yeah, we'll do investigation, eye for detail, if that's... All right, I just remembered, guys, because I'm playing a couple games. I just remembered that I get to roll all of these with advantage. So, how about that? Steady eye.
Fancy.
Kind of see through space and time.
Through space and time. All right, well, that's a 2. But also, look, a 17. So that becomes
69.
28. I mean, I'm sorry, what are we doing?
Really, bro?
What are we doing? What's happening?
Oh, the joys of being me. Okay. It takes you not nearly as long as it might take others in this, but you find the trajectory of a few different markings indicating that there is a new Mercurial Cabinet. And maybe 1 to 2 hours.
Okay.
And eventually you do find...
And I will say, hey, Taz, I know we're going that way. Do you want to do your thing? Do we have to do the walk thing? Is that, the vibe? I don't want to... But we're definitely going that way. Do you want to, lead us through the... I don't know. Or is it weird if we just walk in a straight line? It's like the only...
It's not?
It's like the only straight thing about me is I really like to go from point A to point B.
It's a very touristy thing to do.
All right, well, fine. Do your fucking bullshit. We're going that way.
If you really want to walk in a straight line, I can just
I
can throw this on a little bit sooner,
I'm not gonna,
and that that's fine.
I just I know where we're going. We're going that way, but I don't feel like I can do stealthy shit, but this weird local walkie thing I'm still getting used to. So would you like to guide us that way? Or
yep, sure.
Okay. It's the doubling back that gets me.
I don't have to double back.
I mean, whatever. I just don't want to seem like a fucking tourist, but at the same time, the cabinet is over there.
Yeah. Okay. I will not double back.
No. I mean,
good?
Honestly, let's do whatever the normal thing is. I just personally, I have certain tiny tics, and the doubling back thing just makes me a little anxious. But we should just do the local whatever the vibe is.
Nixing the double back. I will meet you halfway.
What is happening? It's just walking.
But it's not. That's sweet. He's such a sweet boy. He really is. I love him. He's such a sweet, sweet boy. But he just doesn't.
like, okay, so we can do this. Like, you
Yes.
guys can walk straight. I will do my thing.
No, I don't.
And I will meet you
Like, I
there
wanna
at
blend
literally
in.
the same
No,
time.
I wanna blend in.
Possibly even sooner.
Teach me your fucking ways, and I will try to like keep myself from like it's Yusuf. Remember when when hosts would like squeeze through your fingers? Like, remember that feeling? Like the way that like the floor would kind of slowly give and like wrap around your feet. Remember how that made you feel?
House?
House.
Oh, house.
Mimic.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's just slight versions of that, but I don't want to seem like a fucking tourist. Like, I really want to fit in. Like, it's a thing I want to do. So I will follow you, but
But
Yeah.
what if we're people that fit in that are acting like tourists?
no,
I tried.
I like her way better.
You just said her way's the thing you don't want to do.
No, I didn't say I don't want to do it. I said I'm not good at it. Those are
I
two different things.
throw
Doubling back thing?
the duster cloak thing on, and I just start
Yes,
walking.
let's go. I'm following. We are going that way, though.
Yeah.
That's the.
Wait, no, my stuff's not done. We can't.
What do we?
It's a 2-hour thing.
Have we been here for 2 hours
We have a
talking about
brunch.
doubling back?
No, we
No.
Do we need this? We need this. Okay, so we'll grab a snack.
I mean, the
We're
Mercurial
eating a-
Cabinet is also an establishment. It's a place to eat too. So
God damn it. Well, the whole
know
point
that.
is to have the cloak before we do the.
Yeah, it's so. It's
Okay, well then,
not
yeah,
so I'm standing out, fitting in thing.
I'm just pacing. Now I'm just
help
pacing
me
in the
help
street.
you is where I'm at here. I just.
Pacing. Just
Is there a pastry shop anywhere nearby? Maybe a place to get some bean water.
I'll burn through this whole pouch of tobacco. We can also do that. I'm just.
do an investigation check just based off of where you are.
I
14.
do like a big heavy sigh. I grab Feder and I pull him into a building.
Yes.
And for the however long we need to, we're just
Fully
fucking.
distracted.
We're just fucking.
All right. Well, that's one way to pass the time.
I just give a heavy sigh and I'm like, Feder, and
All right.
we just pull him into a building. And,
Wonderful.
Yeah, there's an abandoned one pretty close
Yeah.
or that's not open. That you.
Yusuf walks back into the shop and starts looking at all the armor he would possibly be interested in were this not the case. And
So
he's
you walk
going to
back.
occupy himself with that during the whatever is happening next door so that he can wait for his stuff to be done and
Okay. So then a couple hours do pass.
We walk back in, and I'm like, "Hey, everybody, how's it going? What are we doing today? No pressure here.
And
Hey,
yeah, and you're
Hit the reset button, guys.
as he's putting his cloak on and like throwing it over the horns, like looking in the mirror, he's like, perfect, I'm ready.
me 3.
all right, energized and ready to go and cloaked up. You make your way. It takes a couple hours from there to get to that particular area, but eventually you reach the dead end of a junk-strewn alley and find a large, unassuming wardrobe propped up against the far wall. At first glance, it's pretty unremarkable, and your mind, all three of you, your mind starts to file it away as not worth your time and attention, even going so far as to forgetting it exists. But Tazlin, you and Feder, with your experience, you can push through that with your basic senses. It's a magical thing. It's not like you look away and it's bye-bye. It's harder to concentrate on, and that's where you can sense some of the magic working on it. You see it, like, what's that doing there? Who cares? Goodbye. There's something there that's trying to distract you away from it. The first clue that it is probably where you need to be.
There's a lot of like locking my eye for detail on it.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of like trying to like push through
Yes.
the fog of it.
You get the sense that it is pushing against those quite a bit, aggressively. Tazlin, your experience with this, and having been here, you just have that muscle memory of,
It's a little bit like brushing cobwebs off, but kind of like at the second I'm just like, I remember this. It's fine.
Yusuf looks at the cabinet and is like, oh, that's what we're looking for, right? I rolled a nat 20 for whatever save would cost to do this thing.
Okay.
I was like, is that it?
No, yeah. This
That's
is
it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You're any one of the roles you could possibly do for it, you could have picked, and yeah, you're able to keep attention on it. For some reason, your focus is just really laser on this.
Neat.
Does
And
anything we need to do before we go in?
Nope.
All right. Looking sharp, by the way.
Is there anything I need to not do when we go in?
Talk.
Got it.
She's cruel, but she's right.
This character, mute.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just sit there. Look gruff and mean and grisly.
Yeah. Do talk. No. Sword stays in scabbard.
Oh, now he's giving us the thumbs up. Oh,
He gives a thumbs up.
he's very literal. He's being very literal. All right. That's fine. All right. Into the cabinet. After you.
Open the door. We go in.
Okay.
I go in last.
I've also still got my hood and everything up currently, so.
Same.
You open the wardrobe doors and descend down a surprisingly long set of stairs into what looks to be a tavern. Right off the bat, you notice the place feels off, almost ethereal. All the decor from the wood walls to the shabby furniture has a hazy doubling effect about it. Something akin to old comic book misprints or those images that require the red and blue 3D glasses. The only thing not affected by this doubling are the people within. And given that it's roughly around 2 o'clock, the vibe of the place is setting up. Not really super active at the moment. There are a few people there. It's not as bustling. Of note, you see a hefty, dark blue scaled dragonborn with a permanent wink manning the bar and moving back and forth between a few of the patrons of this place. At the tables, you see a tall brunette with graying roots and weathered skin that beams and creases with her constant smile and chipper attitude. She's a human. You see her moving about like a barmaid. And into this establishment, you have your main area with all the tables and a few people milling about and eating, getting their lunch on. But then further towards the end, across from the bar, you have a stage with a few band members starting to set up and prepare for later in the evening. They're just getting to make sure they're getting set up, making sure their magic works and that anything involved with this place doesn't interfere with their instruments. On the stage, you see a tall, slender woman with purple hair and black roots, dressed in an all-black button-up with black tie and suspenders and a poodle skirt. And
Listening.
And next to her, you see a shorter, average-sized woman with white hair, all black button-up, tie and suspender with slacks combo, gold chain monocle protecting a damaged eye. And then also setting up the final member of this 3-person band, you see medium height, thin, black hair, all black button-up, tie and suspenders with shorts, all white for their eyes. And they're all human. And yeah, they're just setting up their instruments for later in the day. Although, what those instruments are, you can't really say. I mean, there's stuff there. There's stools and a piano for anyone to use. They're, like, setting themselves up.
Right. So, am I correct? One's got both eyes, one's got one eye, and one's got 2 bad eyes?
2 white eyes, yeah.
Interesting.
And they're setting up, and that's kind of what you see in this immediate as you come down the steps into the Mercurial Cabinet. Everyone's just very casual right now. It's not a very active time.
I'd like to take a look specifically for anyone infernal or abyssal, or anybody trying real hard not to be seen.
I think with your... Yeah, why not roll? Give you a chance to have a big number.
13 and 24.
Out of the people in this main room, none of them stick out. They have some trappings that suggest familiar jobs. It's the one who kind of fits the traditional bill of what you might think of as a bard. On one of the tables, you've got someone in a cloak that is more rogue-like, but they're not hiding or anything. They're just chilling, having their food, and there's no one in your immediate local sphere of knowledge. They're just working people in the criminal element.
The bard isn't what's her nuts, isn't it? Fucking.
No, that one.
Barney? No.
But yeah, it's not Barney the Barnacle.
I think she's, given how far it is, maybe still imprisoned. But
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. That's right. She got locked up. Oops. Sorry, Barney.
yeah, just an average assortment of people who don't really stand out to you in this main area. If anything, the band, the bartender, and the barmaid seem to be the most attention-grabbing in this place.
So, while Feder was kind of looking around, I was also kind of doing scan myself too, and it doesn't really seem like there's anybody that I'm kind of like I should keep my hood up for. So I will actually take the hood down, and as the hood kind of comes down, Feder, you'll probably notice that Taslin lets out this huge sigh, and it's almost like the persona has either lifted or settled.
Sure.
And I take off towards the bar.
Okay.
I'm right lockstep behind.
I just walk up and I'm like, Ito, buddy.
They were wiping down the counter, and as you come up to the counter and say that, they turn, give you a look, turn back, and then, wow, walks over. How you been?
Been a long time.
Too long.
Way too long.
My goodness. Sorry, I may need a moment to recover.
I get that. You know, my presence always has that effect. I see you still got that perpetual wink of just dandy.
Yep. That's all me. Oof. God, it's the memories. Oh, well, I mean, the obvious first question is what brings you back? I thought you were going to get out.
Yeah. I'm back for a lot of different reasons. A little bit too much to drop in somebody's lap like right away. Maybe we'll have to spend some time over cards, drinks,
Oof.
the huge.
Oof. Yes. Breaking all manner of people with your cards.
Yeah, see if you can beat me for once.
I've had some time to practice. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest here. You always were the best at it. Tell me, I mean, you've got some friends with you. Yusuf, are you here too?
No, Yusuf is actually going to take a seat in that chair. Nope, the other one. The one in the middle.
Whoop.
Yep.
Okay, the main open table.
Yeah.
You have a friend here with you. You're bringing some guests. I see.
Am. Yes, Ito, I have so much to tell you about this guy, but you know what? And I'll clap Feder on the shoulder. I'll let him introduce himself, as you know we like to do here.
Yes, we're friendly. We're friendly here.
No. Feder. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ito.
Yep. He reaches out. Let's play it polite for a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, nice, firm.
Yeah. Ito Grabesh. I am the proprietor of the Mercurial Cabinet.
Magical. Ito, you wouldn't perchance to have any coffee, would you?
This fucker has everything, and if he doesn't have it, he will get it for you.
Coffee, a little whiskey?
Let me look into that. Not ringing any bells, but I like new things. Like keeping things new and exciting for my guests, my patrons. Yeah, no, stay. Well, enjoy yourselves. We're just getting set up. Our gnomish band didn't quite. They're still sick.
Oh,
They're
okay.
not, or at least they say they're sick. I haven't been able to find them in a while.
I just kind of motion like too much drinking, sick sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, I've suggested that they get help. Yeah. But I'm sure you're familiar with this one. Flip Bit Kissy. They have a sound for sure.
Well, you know what, Ito? Why don't we just, set the right tone? I'm feeling generous. Let's give everybody a round of drinks on me, including Gilly. And, do you still have the same cook?
Yes. There are only so many cooks you can really trust.
That's true. I mean, get him, his favorite, and do a double for Dandy Yadin, perhaps.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Guillemette comes up. And she's like, the round for everybody. Yeah, just let's get to work. Let's do it. They start passing out the drinks and taking the orders, and everyone at the tables in this main area, like, hey, yeah, thanks. And all three of the band members, they register you like, oh, okay. And
They nod to you, and they're like, they get back to what they're doing.
I'll catch eyes with all three of them and give them a little wink.
They are very surprised to see her, and then they smile in your direction.
Yeah, as they like kind of look at me, I'll just give them a nice little like half wave and then kind of a little kiss.
There's that phenomenon where you're behind someone, or you're in front of someone, and someone else waves at you across the way, and you're like, yeah, but it was them. They kind of have that, like, of the three of them, like, who was she? Who was she doing this to? So they all three respond, realize that they did it in tandem, and are like, okay, back to work, back to setting up.
I'm just saying, femmes in suits. I think it's a thing.
I figured Dandy would be a
Oh, is that the? Wait, how many eyes?
both.
Both. That's
Poodle
dandy.
scoop.
She's the
skirt.
the purtle skirt.
Skirt.
Yeah. Which one of you is poodle scoop?
Jesus.
Which did you?
Yeah, poodle skirt, suspenders. That's Dandy. She's the one with the voice.
And they all three, like, you've thrown them off their game a little bit. Not enough to where they're not preparing for their set, but they'll probably come and visit at some point. And yeah, KiloWhat just moves around, gets everyone the drinks, heads back into the kitchen, and you hear just a soft like, oh, nice. And as KiloWhat comes out, almost immediately behind her, walking at a faster stride than she can and having to stop and slow down and get past her to get to you, you see the cook of the Mercurial Cabinet, Gallandon. Tall, pale, with a soft feminine face and near white hair pulled back into this netted ponytail. Pointed ears that aren't all that long and seem more abrupt compared to the more fey elves you've seen in your travels. Pure elf, but much more muted in their features. And they just come up to you really excited, like just grasp your hand like, oh, it's so beautiful to see you.
Callan, yes.
Obvious, I mean, I'm speechless. What brings you here? I mean, are you getting the free round? Like, I see you gave me my usual. That's, oh, so great.
I mean, I couldn't let you not have anything either.
I feel so loved. Oh my goodness. Yeah. What are you doing here? Do you guys need a place to kind of hide away in here and talk amongst yourselves, or you here for the show, or?
Well, I mean, we're fine. We have a place. I wanted to come see all of you now that I'm back, you know, of course. Especially with everybody's discretion. That I hold near and dear to my heart. However, we do, and this goes for you too, Ito, if you have like any, and I kind of side-eyed him, if anybody's heard anything, we were wondering about some information because things have changed. I haven't been around, and I instantly thought of all of you.
Ito, you have. Well, that's pretty accurate. We're good for that. I say get comfortable, get situated. He looks around. He looks between the three of them at least. You know what? I can give our friend here, Gal, a bit of a break, and maybe he can give you the scoop on things that have been happening and what you've missed and anything like that. The three of us are pretty key, we have our ears to the ground.
I would like to do an insight check on the, I'll say the bar, but very specifically, if that's too broad, then the three proprietors.
Yeah.
To see if anybody is hiding either not just surprise, but a little shock or twitchiness or the need to contact someone. The Taz is here, reach under the bar and hit hit the little button. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
As Ito says, give Gal a break. There's a little moment of glee and a moment of where I just kind of do a small little hop and then throw my arms around Gallandon and being like, yes.
Oh yeah, I can. There's a free table in the back. I can take you, and I've got some stuff that's just kind of chilling in the. It's kind of on a wait and see sort of thing right now. So yeah, well, I'll take you to the back.
24.
24. The three of them at the base level never thought they would see her again.
Okay.
It's been so long that they just thought she was lost to time. So there's a bit of a trying to not make too much of a deal about it, and that's faltering. KiloWhat, though, she seems a bit more like trying to do some mental math. There's something she's trying to reconcile just in her facial expressions. She's looking from Ito to
Galandan.
Galandan. Yep. Love the names that came up with. They're so easy to recognize.
So Gilly's
Yeah.
looking a little twitchy.
KiloWhat's looking a little twitchy. Yeah, she's
All right.
looking a little bit more of like, should I? Shouldn't I? Like,
I'm gonna
excuse
try-
myself. Like,
Yeah.
there's that calculation. You've seen it many times before, but
I'm gonna try to catch Yusuf's gaze before, as we're as the giddy hopping and reacquainting is happening.
Yeah.
I'll try to catch his gaze from across the bar and give him a nod, and then look towards Gilly.
I actually see him.
Yay! You did it! Yay! So and try to just give him like a look at you, and then look towards Gilly, and then give him a nod, just to like just keep an eye on her.
yeah. And Gilly does say, "Okay, I gotta get back to serving everyone. Don't be so scarce, Taslan or T."
I'll take a second to kind of let go of Galandan and walk over to Gilly and just kind of tuck a strand of her hair behind her ear and be like, "It's really good to see you, Gilly," and I'll give her a kiss on the cheek.
Oh. And a lot of different emotions are on her face, and it's unsure which ones are winning out, but her face reddens a bit. She's like, "I must get back to excuse me," and she continues to make her circuit around and heads over to Yusuf's table to see what he wants. As Galandan suggests, he starts to lean you guys towards the back rooms, like, "Shall we go? Shall we?" He nods his head gently towards just the main area, like, the sound carries great here, so people will be able to hear anything we're talking about. So it might be worthwhile to get into one of the booths in the back.
Yep, let's do that. Oh, and Ito, be
Yes.
here, open a tab, keep everybody happy.
Oh, of course.
Let it flow.
For sure. Okay, this is going to be a good day. All right, I'll get it going. And, you guys get taken to the back and shot. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
When Yusuf sees them start to leave from his vantage point, like, he's gonna look to Feder and be like, kind of look down at the table.
We're good.
So he'll stay put.
Okay. And KiloWhat comes up to you and what can I get you, hon?
He holds up one hand and splays his fingers out into a W, and then turns it to the side and puts it down.
Classic whatever.
No,
takes-
it's a whiskey, 3 fingers.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. I'll get that for you right away.
That's right. We got to remember that Yusuf was formerly a member of the service industry. It was like Party Down Hell Edition. I want to see him with like the pink bow tie on.
It was straight up like flaming red-orange, but yeah.
And as Galandan leads you down the hallway and into the section of booths, Feder, if you want to do a eye for detail investigation, just to see if you can notice anyone in the other booths, because there's loose cloth in between each one, shutting everyone in, but you can see through it if you're.
Yes, dear.
Natural 20.
It's like he was made for it.
31, John. It's a 31. It's 3 and then a 1.
Wow.
In that order.
Yeah, no, you see their pin numbers for some stupid reason. No, as you guys pass through, you do see 2 of the booths are filled with 2 people. You see a male dwarf in a cloak hiding its features. You see a dwarf female. Similar. They seem to be meeting under clandestine means, but more private. It doesn't look anything related to what you guys are doing. They just seem to be meeting each other. And the way they hold themselves, it's a personal thing.
Sure.
Maybe a tryst, who knows. And then in the booth that's closest, I'm doing this out in the wrong order. That's the second one you saw. The first one you saw in the bottom right booth is you see a kind of fairly buff, broad-shouldered tiefling female and a half-orc female. And they are arm wrestling. Just over drinks. They've got some bets going. They're just doing private feats of strength, it looks like.
Is this our friends in Temper?
No.
No. Okay.
The tiefling part catches your eye.
Right.
And that you haven't seen too many, but it seems accurate to the amount of people in here that you might have come across one.
Do I get the sense in a city mouse, country mouse sort of way? Is this a terrestrial tiefling or an infernal tiefling? Not to be too judgy, but
More terrestrial.
sure.
You get the sense that they wouldn't necessarily know their infernal heritage, just that they've made the transformation.
Sure. But not walking with that subtle, like from the
Elitism?
hells. Yeah, from the hells sort of walk.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. They're not as
Got it.
special, but that does catch your eye.
They just don't know they're special. That's all.
Yeah. And yeah, you three sit down in the booth, and Gal sits next to you and gets chummy. And it's like, okay, Edel will probably bring us drinks, or Gilly will bring us drinks soon. So, yes, ask away. If we seem so kind of out of sorts, I'm sorry that we're not so hospitable, but we haven't seen you forever. You're kind of a ghost. I mean, just he even kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, like, it's so weird to see you.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I'd be back either, so trust me, that makes two of us.
I feel like, and maybe you said this to me or something, but like it seemed pretty final that you weren't you were out. And, I mean, I'm glad you got away. There's always crazy stuff in Skypoint, and
I mean,
it's Skypoint, and
that's true. I certainly am glad to see that, things haven't burned down quite as I expected them to.
well, everyone's trying to burn things down. It's just how it is.
Isn't that the daily MO? But yeah, no, it's a trip for me too, coming back. I of course am more than ecstatic to see you and Ito, Gilly as well, although she does seem a little skittish.
Yeah, I don't know about that one so much. I mean, she means well, and obviously, whatever you two had going on, but still, I don't know. If you want, I can pass a note to Ito or anyone else just to keep an eye on her. I mean, I imagine if you're here, there's. He pauses for a minute. Some amount of discretion involved.
Absolutely.
I mean, because if you're here, and now the math is happening. Like, oh, okay, yeah, no, we should be fine. Oof, there's all that past. Okay, well.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be ghosts popping up in different areas. I'm sure if word hasn't spread that I'm here, it will soon. So.
Yeah, I mean, at least you didn't go to the gaping maw. That would have just been announcing your arrival right out.
Speaking of, we are trying to. One of our friends has a family of sorts that he's looking for. There's some belief that they're being used to mine these things called Skyrial gems. Have you heard of them?
He leans back. Let me think. The name doesn't sound familiar. The whatever Skyrial, that doesn't sound very familiar to me. But I do know that there's been interest in the Undercity of late. Word amongst those of us here is that there's some value down there that hasn't been fully mined out. So that could be. I know there's been a lot of Dominion activity that way. I don't know if you know, but we have a newer, relatively newer archmage here. They've been interested as well. Bonham, I think.
Interesting. How long has Bonham been in the city?
Like 6 or 7 years-ish. Teslin, you didn't know who the Archmage was when you were around. They weren't prominent enough, but it wasn't this weird Bonham guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he seems pretty interested in that. He likes, I mean, this is only hearsay based off of what we hear coming in, but he seems to be mucking about and trying to dip his fingers in a couple different things. It seems pretty strange. Weirdly enough, he was seen at, you might have remembered this, but you remember Smashtown? If you want to give a history of this.
16?
16? You remember Smashtown. Back in your day, it was a little bit more active, a little bit more prominent. Mm-hmm. Now, and the way he's talking about it makes it seem like it isn't quite as popular still, but it was a weekly event where fighters in colorful garb challenge each other to do battle in front of a live audience. Usually set up in a random warehouse in the Southern Dispersion. You kind of have to seek it out, and it's word of mouth sort of thing. But
It's essentially what Barney was doing in Trost.
more so performance based.
Yeah. Wrestling in the D&D world.
I don't hate it.
He's been seen there for some strange reason, hanging around talking to the talent. I mean, they've even got a show coming up fairly soon. And he seems kind of sheepish. I still like it. I know it was. I mean, I don't know if you. I like it. I know you've told me a few times that it's silly, and I don't know. I like the stories, and I don't know the way they beat on each other is entertaining too. I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
I just touch his arm and I'm like, Gal, I'll never begrudge you your pleasures.
Thank you.
D&D WWE.
I mean, it's a pretty good it's a pretty good one. If I may indulge, I'm sorry if this is boring to you. What was your name again? Feder.
No, don't mind me.
If I may, this is exciting to me, but there's been a bit of a revenge story going on. The local hero, Dirk Danger, he's been on a huge rampage of revenge against the fighters who betrayed him in the last match. It was vicious and so good. The one who betrayed him and the one he's trying to get revenge on is this fighter named Bonhart the Beast. And so exciting. But sorry, I digress. But yeah, so
What are you doing? We doing like 2 out of 3 falls? Are we single fall here? Are we submissions and pins?
Just
or
kind of look at Feder.
what?
Was this a thing where you grew up too?
Fighting for sports kind of a thing everywhere. I mean, you just have to understand. That's what
right. I mean, to be fair, it's maybe not as sophisticated. You look
Sure.
very worldly. It's a simple revenge kind of checklist, a hit
Right.
list.
Now-
there were 3 people in total who it was okay. It was. I'm sorry, Taslin. It was supposed to be a 4-way match.
I
Right.
just
And-
kind of lean back and prop my chin on my hand, just really intrigued at this playing out.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be a 2-on-2 match.
Okay.
And it was
Tag or tornado? Sorry.
together.
Okay.
It was Dirk Danger with Chester the Fester. They were going to team up against Mephisto the Iron Fist and Bonhart the Beast.
Sure.
And what happened was, about partway through the match, Chester the Fester turns, and the 3 of them just wail on Dirk Danger.
A well-timed heel turn.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Well, because we thought, it could have gone either way.
Sure.
Bonhart is very vicious, and he moves really fast.
I won't deign disrespect the art form by asking if the results are predetermined or not, but
Oh, yeah, no.
interesting. Does the local Dominion law allow for games of chance surrounding the outcomes of these?
I think so. It's It's hard to say, and I
Interesting.
I will be the first to admit I kind of like it that way. It kind of leaves a level of
All right, because sometimes it's all about the story, right? Like sometimes it's about the athleticism. Yeah.
well, right, because Dirk Danger is very much this rookie sensation. He's
Sure.
new. He's a new guy, and all sorts of promise. And Bonhart's been at the top, for however long, like 6-7 years or whatever. It's been like.
Yeah. But it books itself, right? He's going to work his way through all three of them and then ultimately have it out with Bonhart,
Yeah,
right?
and here's the thing.
Yeah.
The same night, he's doing them all at once.
Wow.
All at once, just one after the other. He's
Gauntlet.
like, let's fight fair, gauntlet style.
Full
I'm
gauntlet.
struggling not to laugh in the corner.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, cool. And Gal sits back a little bit and collects himself. I'm sorry.
No,
I know
that's
this
fine.
is-
No, please.
You-
No,
you-
I listen, and I give him. I'll just give him a little bit of the sauce, just a tiny bit. There's nothing more exciting to me than hearing people talk enthusiastically about the things that make them excited.
Fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, I know you want more information, and
Also,
to that point,
I grew up on a goddamn boat and trapped in a tower. You think we didn't have to? I had to find ways to entertain myself.
I
know what
mean,
I mean?
at some point, Feder, you'll have to tell me some about this. This sounds interesting. I'm just but a lowly cook here.
It's listen. It's a long, boring story. It wouldn't interest you much.
Hey, I mean, I've been to the libraries. I've looked up stories. I'm very into stories. So if you've got any good ones, lay them on me. Obviously, that's not what we're here for right now. But he smiles. Oh, you guys, you have some cool friends. But okay, yeah. So Bonham has been there. He's been seen hanging around that Bonhart character. Very weird.
Oh, he goes to the show, huh? Interesting.
Not all the time. Just the last one, he was there for the big betrayal.
Yeah.
Any mention of gnomes, perhaps, down in the Undercity?
There was talk of an incursion into gnomish territory. The Dominion spearheaded a little troop to do that, and that seemed kind of weird. Just general inactivity, and then suddenly wanting to, invade the gnomes, I guess. Don't know what happened to them, though. I haven't heard anything about that.
Have you heard? Has the Dominion taken up residence at the Gaping Maw? Are they more carefully monitoring access to it?
Yeah, they have. They've got kind of a tight hold on it now. Actually, they claim that there was an invasion of some creature or other. They say Belgura, but a few people have mentioned in here that that there hasn't been any evidence of that. But they've shut that place down.
Any discussion of rifts,
Rifts.
tears in space and time, multidimensional?
No, but there was one night where there was that green light in the sky a while back, but
Sure.
nothing about rifts or tears or
Anything
like that.
weird happen in town when that happened? Sorry, not to be too.
No, it's just been a while. They start doing as I'm doing here, kind of pulling at the webbing of their fingers, just like not because they're trying to hide anything, they're just thinking. When Gal gets fairly excited, they just start massaging at their hand or their wrist or something along those lines. No, nothing seemed too weird that I'm aware of. Sorry if that's not very helpful.
No, it's any information is good information.
Yeah. But it was weird. Someone was saying that it came from way up north, and to be able to see it even where we are on the lower end of the bottom of the shelf, the butt end of Skypoint is kind of.
Sure, big bright light. I think we all saw it. So Gallandon, not to harp on the maw too hard, I'm sure we have plenty of other things to discuss, but do you know of any back channels in or out of the mall? So we wouldn't have to necessarily walk right into the tavern. There has to be tunnels, certainly. One off to the side somewhere that pops up in a dark alley. Maybe somewhere this wardrobe has rested at some point in time.
I'll actually kind of reach out and I'll take one of Gallandon's hands and start kind of massaging it for him.
Okay.
And to kind of get his attention and be like, Cal, I really want to know how you've been.
How I've been.
Yeah, in these past years.
I mean, I can do. I'm very head to the ground. Not too exciting other than just, going to those shows and brokering information and helping out Ito and Gilly. I mean, it's been, and he's trying to figure out how to put a wall up a little bit. It's been fine. He's trying not to. If you want to insight.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
actually gonna. He can insight. I'm gonna persuade here.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Okay.
We have 27 for persuasion. I'm gonna be like, gal.
Yeah.
And I'm still massaging the hand, very looking deep into his eyes and everything like that. I'm here for you. I know that I've been gone. I know that this has been tough, but I really want to know in a way that I can help you, and that way we can have the best exchange of information that we can.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, for me, it's just been the dreams of home, the memories. I was told this would happen, but memories of us elves, of our home, the bits of my past, not my past, others' past. Like I'm dreaming, and I've never dreamt before, and it's very weird. And there aren't too many of us elves here in Skypoint. We are either back at home or scattered about. It's just how it is. So there hasn't been many people to talk to about it. It's been very distracting. Kind of looks between you and Feder like, yeah, that's a lot of information. But I mean,
What's the name of the continent, the world we're on?
Valdarian.
Valdarian, sorry. Gal, do the dreams reveal anything about Valdarian, or are they of the Fae? Are they of the elven homeworld? Anything about Skypoint?
No, nothing like that. It's all elvish memory. Past lives,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And I was told this would happen as I got to the age I'm at now, and as I start to age into a much more mature elf. I was told this would happen, but it's consuming my thoughts. I'm very wrapped up in them and distracted. So.
And I more than get that, especially when we're haunted by the ghosts of our pasts.
Yeah. No.
I have every possibility of being haunted by running into any of the Meganalar.
Yeah, and that's to your friend Fetter's point. I mean, that's kind of the angle to get anything with the maw, or I hesitate to suggest it because that means your ghosts, your memories. But the Meganalar are still bringing in Drow. They're still bringing in new people. They have to. Like all the other factions, they are really encroaching on the territory. The beauteous few are really gunning for them these days. No one's managed to kill Nax yet, but the chromatic vipers are in play. The many-colored snakes that the beauteous few employ out, and they are really gunning for him. And there's kind of a joke among some of the people who patronize here that you never really see old Drow here.
And I take his other hand and I start massaging both of them.
Okay. Yeah.
And that can be so difficult even for you facing what you're facing right now. Granted, they are Drow and not...
Yeah.
But, that seeing their own life expectancy turnover be so short.
Yeah, and it's just they're the target of the day. They're the flavor of our ire. Ever since there was that big leak that kind of put the fire on them, and I don't know if they've ever really quite recovered from that.
There's like a
I'll flash.
moment.
I'll
just like
flash.
a
Yeah, I was gonna
flash.
say I definitely shoot a very, very tiny glance over at Taz.
There's definitely the briefest moment of like sadness and regret that just kind of like crosses her eyes and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And she's right back to like focusing on
And you know that
Gallandon
doesn't have any sort of inkling of the specifics, other that there was just a shakeup and now everyone's kind of gunning for them. The Dominion Alliance is really hard on them. But there was someone who was saying that they might have worked out some kind of deal to stay the Alliance's like stranglehold on them. I don't know anything else about that, but I've heard that kind of whisper in. Ito was talking a little bit about that with someone, so we both know the same amount. But apparently they've reached some sort of working deal. The way this thing is, it's like Mangalar, they do their thing, and a lot of the other factions tend to just let it be unless it reaches a certain point. And then they all turn their attention to it. But yeah, they've been working to boost their numbers, so they're still got access to the Maw, but the Dominion has also got a bit of a strangle on that. So there's a bit of a situation there.
Interesting.
And I've kind of been working my extended past the hands onto like the forearms, and I'm just like really working that calming motion and
a little bit less distracted, and you get the sense you don't remember having to do it to this extent, or that it's been working this much. Whatever these things he mentioned about the memories of past lives, they are a bit more overwhelming for him at least. His antenna is tuned to the right frequency for a lot of this.
Yeah.
So it's very helping him be in the present.
Yeah. Gallandon.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Taz, were you?
Oh, I was just speaking of the Mangalar and the ghosts of the past and their, as you said, there's such a high turnover. Does that, obviously they're coming up through the Maw. Is there any way, are all aspects of the Maw covered? Is there no way that I could slip in and out without tipping somebody off, per se?
No.
Okay.
Dominion and Mangalar, they've got the main hold on that.
Okay.
And I suspect, and I worry that, I mean, the Alliance, when they have men posted out there and they make official things like this, it's always a question of, is it Lugarius or is it Bonham doing this? And this just doesn't feel like something our good King Lugarius would really give a shit about. He is mostly focused on the north and trying to spread this alliance, this dominion, as far as he can. He's into spreading it everywhere. Yeah.
Yep, and I take a second to do like a jerking off gesture.
Yes.
Of course he is. And then I will kind of flick a glance towards Fetter like, okay, you can ask your question now.
Personal business. You know how this stuff goes. Have you got any acquaintance, or have you seen coming in and out of the cabinet? Tiefling goes by the kind of garish moniker of Vicious Temper. Runs with a Githyanki by the name of Aegis.
Yeah, I have seen them. Yellow.
Yeah, loud.
Kind of, loud and kind of suited up. And kind of a...
But, like, let's be honest, like, not quite as nice.
No, this is really working.
Listen, I'm perfectly humble when I need to be, but those two rapscallions are...
Yeah, no, I think they wanted to... Well, the one... Viscus, I think she said her name was.
Yeah.
Wanted to find the place.
Sure.
First of all, like, hey, found it. Found the hub, and...
Let me guess, they tried to make a play to buy it?
That did come up, but Ito has told me that it has been the funniest day of his life.
Just a hammer. A hammer when you need a scalpel. Just goddamn.
Yeah, no, they were talking about some kind of deal. They were trying to wine and dine this what was it? This succubus. No, incubus. Cessus, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they said that they had a pretty good... I mean, this Viscus does talk a lot and talks loud, like you said.
Yeah.
Mentioned something like they were close to worked deal, but they were just getting all the fun that they could out of it, or at least she was. But it sounded like things were going well. I don't know. It's word around is that Cessus is a bit much, bit big on himself.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And there's some strife with the sword and flame folks and more of the paladins of the city, and who find some of that stuff objectionable. And so we do, even the Dominion isn't quite keen on him.
Right.
But there is a shady element. I mean, Gal points around like, I mean, we are what we are.
Sure.
There's no right and wrong about what we make it here. But yeah, no, I think they were trying to get some sort of deal worth them for souls or an abundance of souls.
Right.
I mean, the whole.
Where's I'm trying to remember. Weirdly, I don't have the Cessus contract here. I don't think. Do we know where he's set up? Where he operates out of?
It's not on the sheet, but
Then I'll ask.
But Tiamat did mention that you had to ask around. He was a harder one to pin
Sure.
down.
Do we know where? I mean, obviously, if your business is best done on your back, it's helpful to have a bed.
Yeah.
Do we know where he lies his head these days?
No, but I can tell you who might. I'll give you two options. I think there's two people who might.
Mm-hmm.
First one, now, it's just what she calls herself, so
Sure.
I don't decide that, but this tiefling named Becky Sadness, bit of a weirdo, kind of spacey, but she tends to know where a lot of the infernal stuff is of the city and kind of has a beat on it. But be forewarned, an odd one, and can be oddly prophetic too. Like to say the randomest stuff, the most random shit, and it'll, in some weird ways, come to pass. Not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one option. They would probably have a good inkling of where you might want to go. And if you get to maybe some of the older parts of the city, there's a tavern called the Rusted Daffodil. And a bunch of old-timers. It's kind of an old-timey tavern with old rangers and trackers and old adventurers who just, through their age, they lived. They got to live, and they've completed their own adventures. But they just hunker down there and complain about the politics of the city.
Sure.
And they know pretty much where any sort of stuff is like that. Because if it's infernal, they might be like, well, damn infernal's taking over this part of town. They might be able to give you a sense of that.
Of course.
If you can stand listening to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I heard correctly, Becky is a they?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Hard to...
Always want to respect folks.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's about all I've got. If perhaps you see Bex,
I wonder how they'd respond to that.
just yeah, let her know there's a few tiefling about looking for her.
Okay. Yeah. No, they don't get very far. They just stay in there. Okay, it's weird, and they have this place, this shop that is like this house on bird feet that just is in the middle of this abandoned square in the sink, and
So it just wanders the sink on the
no,
feet?
it doesn't. It's made of tree. They made the tree to look like bird feet. And it's this house that rests on it, and they painted it watermelon colors. It's such a weird spot.
That fits with the sink.
Yeah. Most of that neighborhood is pretty much abandoned and submerged, but this tree bird house still sits there, and she's very there. There's nothing quite like, and Gal looks at Tesla, nothing quite like the sadness.
I can appreciate. Yeah, a bit of architectural ingenuity.
It's definitely worth checking out, but for someone like me who's beset by a lot of memory and omen, I can't stand to be over there.
Sure.
Especially my current. They pause, but my current thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. Oh, to your point about Infernal, or to my point, I did notice something.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you guys, Gal leans in. I noticed some particularly vicious looking tiefling out and about, like past day or so. They've been fanning out and they've been searching for somebody.
Did they wear any discernible garb or marks?
I didn't get a good look. And this was me. I saw this. I followed a relatively safe distance, but they seemed to be armored up, like a guard of some kind, a blackguard, if you will. They seemed to be on the way they talked. They talked in a level of infernal that I'm not entirely familiar with.
Sure. Older?
Yeah. There seemed to be this like kind of cool mist off of their armor as well.
Yep.
But yeah, they're looking for someone. Someone must have done them wrong, or they're retrieving somebody. But they're out and about. Watch out. They are pretty perceptive. I had to leave pretty quick. That's something to watch out for. What else? The gal's eyes just lit up. Dazlin, your father is here.
Oh boy, here we go. How much? Let's just cut the shit. How much trouble is he in?
Well, everyone wants him dead.
Also, par for the course.
Specifically, the Manganalar, they want their the thing back. He stole something from them, and
After he was explicitly told not to.
right, and he got into some trouble with the Beauteous Few, and they managed to nab him for a little bit of time, and work him over. He came back here, of all places, and had quite a right shiner on the face, just like woof. That handsome face. But
I just look at Gal and
I'm sorry. Look where you come from a very good line of people in terms of looks.
I'm secretly delighted by this. It's about fucking time. He says again.
I get it. Genes
Yeah.
are strong, but
Yeah. No, if it's you got the best of him and none of the worst, because well, let's just say that he's doing a fairly decent job of flitting in and out of places, coming and going and disappearing, and keeping a low, well, not really a low profile, just he's on a, oh boy.
I just kind of quirk an eyebrow at Gal and literally there's that look like you realize you're also describing me.
Yeah. He's on a tour of women at the moment. There was he was shacking up with somebody, a relatively low-level magic user. I guess he was trying to locate somebody, so he was sleeping with her. I don't know if you've seen anyone flying around on a fucking broom, have you?
Yeah, actually I have.
Oh, really? Bow in the head, very socially awkward.
Red bow, black hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't. That's mean to say low level. They're just fairly young and immature, and they're trying to. Well, they were related to a very powerful wizard at one point, and they're on their own. But yeah, he broke her heart. And
Although I wouldn't have expected her to be his type, but of course, if he was using her, that also makes sense.
yeah, I mean, if you. I don't suggest you try to see him, or if you want to hit him, then give him one for me. But you can always ask why. I mean, just ugh. But now he's just been sleeping around and hiding when necessary, disappearing when necessary, and he seems fine with it. I don't get. I mean, he was in here though a while back with a little boy, which it was like, really, you had a little boy.
Did he call the little boy by any name?
I think he called him something like Hatter.
Okay.
But I think he was trying to just keep I don't know. He was trying to be generic when talking about him or to him, but Hatter did slip and he passed him on to a fairly strong, powerful-looking Aranese. That was, I mean, never seen her type around.
Yeah, he
I flash Taz like the tiniest glance. And
he made a deal with some people,
Oh,
as he does, you know.
I mean, it's not. Is this your brother that he sold off? What?
No idea. Absolutely none.
I mean, maybe you have to hit him twice. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
I kept my nose to the ground. Like
no offense to your dear old dad, but trafficking children wouldn't be necessarily out of the question. Fairly despicable behavior, but
He's a fairly despicable person.
yeah, no, I will. I mean, and I will throw any sort of deception check out with that to try to like redirect his kind of line of inquiry there.
Okay, yeah. And he takes it. Like he followed. Like
It's not great. It's about a 13, but
yeah, I rolled pretty low too. Yeah, he diverts. So there's that. I mean, oh God, Cheshire. I mean, there's only so many times I can say sorry for that fuckhead. But I mean, God, I don't suppose you've seen him, have you, or run into him?
No, I haven't, which
Okay.
is a blessing in its own.
Yeah.
Thank the queen. Well, gal, and I stop.
Oh, one more thing. Actually, two more things that you might want to know. There's been a rumor about a house that has been eating people, and I told the person that they were making stuff up. It was goofy, but figured I'd throw it by you. Keep an eye out. There could be a house that eats people.
that's insane.
That is weird, right? I mean, just the logistics. It would just be too much.
Yes, it would be. Maybe don't go investigate it yourself.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. No.
And I mean, if anybody comes in that you really just don't like and you want to get rid of, is a piece of shit, you know, just like the fodder of society. I've heard that there are rooms for them to stay at.
Okay.
In that house, if you just want to.
All right.
Send them that way.
Maybe something like there's gold or
Yeah.
gems in there, prestige. Yeah, I'll come up with something. But as if a house would. That's just real.
Clearly not. Just
That-
stories.
Also, again, what else? There's a person in the court, a new lady in the court for King Lugarius seems to be keeping his attention. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of activity from Lugarius otherwise.
A diplomat or a paramour?
Sounds like it was a paramour, I think. Because, I mean, Lugarius is not a friendly person. I mean, I've seen some of the herald, like his announcements, and there's been talk that he's just unfriendly, unkind, and yeah, so good luck to whoever that poor lady is.
What's the reputation of the paramour? What are the folks saying around town about it?
Well, I've heard that they're a bit of a partier. They're a bit like there's been some, I guess, more activity in the Neil than we've come to expect. And I don't know. I feel like around that time there has been more of an infernal presence here.
Sure.
Not that it's a bad thing.
But
I know also. I mean, I deal with all sorts of devils that come and go. And
yeah, but public sentiment seems to be neutral at best about the pairing.
It's unsure how this affects Lugarius politically at the time.
Okay.
There hasn't been any new changes to our laws or anything like that. There's just been kind of a calm, at least from Lugarius and the Dominion in that regard. It's just been all this Bonham stuff that's been kind of more apparent because of it. I don't know. There's...
Trade one, chaos for the other.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the Neil, and there's only so long you can look up at that before it's just not a great view.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Like staring into an asshole.
But I'm trying to think if there's
The right asshole, huh? Stare all day.
I mean, some of them are pretty, yes. And I actually glance over at Gal. Some of them are pretty. Well, gal, and I'll actually stop massaging his arms and I'll reach up and kind of like give the very tips of his ears like a little tickle.
They smirk like, oh, okay.
I don't want to monopolize all of your time. As always, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Indeed. And I must get back to the food. It is.
Yes.
We're getting towards the evening meal time, and some of the stuff is just waiting for my final touches. If you get a chance, talk to Dandy.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't dream of leaving here without talking to Dandy.
When they saw you, did you spook them a little bit?
I mean, I did give them like a little kiss.
Oh, like up on the stage, or you just blew them?
No, just blew them a kiss. They're not really sure who it was for. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yes.
Maybe all three of them. Who knows?
There's power in threes, I guess.
Or 4s or 5s.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta get back to the kitchen. It was good to catch up with you. If you're gonna leave again for a long period of time, make sure you say goodbye.
Yes, absolutely. I know last time it was kind of a, vanish into the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Circumstances called for it, but
I get it. Especially if it's in relation to the Manganalar. That's. Anyways, I'll let you two be. Yeah, and yes, enjoy your time here.
It was an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
as Gal walks away, I'll kind of just slightly call after him. Promise not to start an orgy tonight.
Do my best.
What's his vibe? He seems like a real needy power bottom.
Yes, but will absolutely switch at the drop of a hat if you need him to.
Sure. So like a service top power bottom switch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Ito's the kind that will just like lift you up and carry you around.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, very. If you want a sledgehammer, Ito's
Just-
the one to go to.
Yeah. I
wrong.
don't know if my knees could dig it. But,
But I will say,
yeah.
ribbed for all pleasures.
Sure, dragons. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
Real nice. Gilly, however, has a tongue.
Sure.
Gilly has a tongue. I mean, yes, great. Sometimes not the best for talking, but if you can get her to shut up, either through
just
like
shut up
in the
and
mouth
feel
or
the
down,
vibe.
Yep, great tongue.
Yeah.
Great tongue.
Fantastic. Do they ever turn all the lights off in here and get weird? Is that?
Oh yeah.
That sounds downright mercurial.
Yeah. Either the lights and we play a little round of who's in my mouth.
Who's in my mouth?
Or
my mouth right
or
now.
we'll do. I mean, sometimes like you see the kind of like effect that this place has.
Sure.
Oh man, when they really turn on like the lights.
Yeah.
Whoo, you get some green light going in there, and you can feel like you are on drugs.
Sure.
Yeah,
love it.
sometimes when Ito just kind of gets a little tickle, he might put some drugs into beer.
Into the beer? Sure.
Yeah.
Shame
And
I
then
don't like
things
beer.
get real fun, especially since he has a super high tolerance, so he's
Oh,
usually the only
drink
one
everybody
that
under
is
the
like,
table.
all right. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, those are wild nights, and they're not as infrequent as many would think.
All right.
But yeah,
Informative.
You guys have this booth to yourself right now.
Well, I feel
No
like
activity, and you can hear some music starting to bubble
Right.
up in practice. And
But-
Yusuf is still out there,
Yeah.
which Yusuf, you've just been seeing KiloWhat go back and forth, but every now and then she'll look towards the doorway and just clock it, think to herself, well, maybe, I don't know. Bit back and forth, but that's all she ever gets to in any of her traveling between the patrons. Some come, some go. Not a lot of new people come in. It's
Insight on her looking at the door, and not a lot. 11.
yeah, well, better than I rolled. Yeah, she's wanting to get out and go do something, whether it be an errand or relay some information. It's hard to say. Either between either of those two things. But she wants to get out there and just, I don't know, run some errands. Sooner rather than later, but the work is busy enough. And the band members are demanding enough. They keep just bring the drinks, and they're a bit picky about the drinks. So she's too busy. Her work is not letting her do it, but
Well,
she would like to.
I look at Taz and I'm like, so Gilly's totally gonna snitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, that tongue. But let's be real here for a second. Especially with everything that we're kind of compiling, with everything that it seems to be with the gnomes and what Yusuf wants to do, we need help. We're not going to be able to do it on our own. And
Sure.
so
You want to go talk to Nix?
it might be best if we just go straight for Carnival Mysterio.
All right.
I think it would be better that we head off any information.
Sure. That's fair.
You know, it much more of a, hey, how's it going? Instead of,
Let's be forthright. Let's not pretend that we're avoiding them on purpose. You know. Yeah. You know me. There's a time to sneak around, and there's a time to just walk through the front door and announce your presence.
yeah, and it could be, depending on, you know, time, circumstance, whatever, that Nax might be a little bit more amenable to helping out, lending support, especially if we can help take some of the heat off of his back that seems to be on it.
Sure.
It did seem, especially with the Beauty's Few pushing so hard and everything else, that he's kind of on a precipice again, and that had nothing to do with me this time. So,
Well, here's what I'll say. Happy to keep a profoundly open mind. You know, that's kind of part and parcel. But if he comes for you, I'm going to kick his fucking ass.
yeah, well, if he comes for me, he might find himself at a little bit more odds than he was last time.
Okay, fair. I'm the mere mention of the black art in the city. I feel like it's making me nervous about leaving Yusuf alone. So
yeah,
we should probably
let's go back out. I mean, honestly, being out there is a better place to hear the flip bit kissies. So
Flit bit kissies.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Flip bit kisses.
Flip bit kissies. Listen, I'm into it. All right, so we stand for the show, or do you want to make haste?
might as well.
All right.
We can stay for the show. I think it would be better if we, and also we're saying this is like we're walking.
Yeah.
And also more fun if we went at night rather than the day.
Certainly. Yeah. Happy to oblige.
Might I make a suggestion? Yeah, sure. Perhaps you might want to go follow the bullywug and personally deliver the jug to him instead of waiting for him to come back to this particular establishment. Oh, that's probably a good idea. Maybe then I can hear some of these stories firsthand instead of getting them from random passersby who just barge into the tavern and start talking. Hey, well, all right. I guess it's time for me to go. Try to find the bullywug and deliver his jug. Guess I'll see you guys later in these demon days.